First of all, as someone not coming directly from the field of accounting, let me thank the IFAC, the Congress organizer, for giving me the honor to share the stage with my esteemed fellow speakers and to present an anti-corruption agency's point of view on the roles of accounting professions in the fight against corruption. Can I have the next slide? The beginning of the 21st century witnessed an important change to the global anti-corruption landscape. Overwhelming consensus across both developed and developing countries led to the adoption of the first legally binding international anti-corruption instrument known as the UN Convention Against Corruption, or UNCAC in short. At present, 172 countries are parties to this landmark treaty, and only a handful, allowed 20 countries in the world, have yet to join the UNCAC. The convention set out a comprehensive range of preventive and punitive measures and addresses the cross-border nature of corruption with provision on international cooperation and the return of the proceeds of corruption in victim countries. It emphasized the importance for a country to adopt an integrated multi-sectoral approach in fighting graft, and the crucial role of the accounting profession in helping to detect and prevent corruption is expressly highlighted in two of their articles. Article 9 requires countries to put in place a system of accounting and auditing standards and relating oversight as a measure to promote transparency and accountability in the management of public finances and public procurement. As you will hear from my first case study relating to the corruption scandal involving the previous Thai government's rice pledging and selling scheme, a weak or the lack of effective accounting and auditing system in controlling public finances and procurement provide the perfect breeding ground for the unscrupulous practice by corruption public leaders and officers. And again, Article 12 of the UNCAC, countries are required to enhance accounting and auditing standards in the private sector to ensure proper maintenance of commercial organizations' books and records and financial statement disclosures in order to ensure effective deterrence and early detection of public corruption. In my second case study, I will discuss about Thailand's recent successful experience in working together with the US to prevent and detect foreign bribery through the rigorous enforcement of anti-corruption accounting provision. Next slide, please. Before I delve deeper into the case study, I think it would be beneficial for the audience for me to very briefly provide you with an overview of the organization which I'm representing today. In doing so, I will introduce Thailand's National Anti-Corruption Commission's roles and function as Thailand's primary organization in combating corruption. NACC is vested with broad powers and duties to conduct investigation into corruption cases, including illicit enrichments and public procurement, examine assets and liabilities of high-ranking public officials and politicians, as well as implement measures to prevent corruption and bolster cooperation with regional and international counterparts. Next, please. From the outset, the expertise of accounting profession come into play as the NACC is responsible for inspecting the assets and liabilities of politicians and high-ranking public officers. Furthermore, NACC is responsible for the inspection and investigation of corruption in public procurement and to ensure and enhance transparency and accountability of public projects. Next, please. The NACC recent indictment of former Prime Minister and key cabinet members of the previous administration for committing corruption and malfeasance in office in the implementation of the rice pledging and selling scheme underscore the crucial role of accounting profession in helping to detect public fraud and corruption. Beginning in 2011, the previous government initiated its populist policy of directly purchasing rice harvest from farmers at prices that were as much as 50% higher than the market rate. The administration reckoned they could drive up global rice price by storing the grain they bought from farmers in vast warehouses, withholding them from the global market in order to drive up prices and profits as a result of international shortage. However, the plan backfired as Thailand was quickly priced out of the market, unable to sell its huge stockpile for anything close to what it paid. In the free market economy, it turned out that foreign customers switched their purchases to other rice exporters. NACC investigation uncovered widespread irregularity in almost every aspect of the scheme's implementation. Nationwide inspection of the warehouses and meticulous auditing revealed that a substantial amount of stockpile has mysteriously disappeared, while up to 90% of the grains are of poor quality due to fraud and poor warehousing conditions. Experts estimate that at present the scheme had already cost Thailand over $20 billion in losses. Particularly in this case, a score of professional accountants had persistently tracked the financial status of the project and taken on the role of whistleblowers to bring to the public's and the NACC attention of the vast losses and debts arising from the corruption-rife project. Next, please. Moving on to my second case study. Next, please. I would like to bring to your attention a noteworthy innovation with regard to the use of enhanced accounting standards in combating international bribery. One of good example here is the U.S. Essentially, the U.S. Foreign Corrupt Practice Act, or FCPA, includes an anti-bribery provision and accounting provision which work in tandem to make it unlawful to bribe foreign officials and falsify records to make such payments appear as legitimate business expenses. The enforcement of such act has resulted in criminal and civil penalties against top executives of some of the largest companies in the world. The NACC has been working closely with the U.S. Department of Justice, the SEC, and FBI on several FCPA cases in which the American business persons and entities have paid bribes to Thai politicians and public officials in exchange for government contracts. In several of these cases, the U.S. authorities have charged U.S. companies for falsifying or miscategorizing bribe payments and providing of illegitimate benefit to Thai officials as legitimate business transactions. In one case, a large multinational U.S. corporation deliberately disguised expense for luxurious all-cover travel trips for Thai public officials as expenses for corporate social responsibility. The form and means of corporate misbehavior can perhaps only be limited by one's imagination. In this particular case, the trouble arose because the company failed to comply with accounting standards. So from the two case studies that I have presented, it is clear that the accounting profession can and should play an important role in setting and adhering to appropriate accounting and auditing standards, both in the public and private sector, to prevent and, when necessary, promptly detect and report public corruption to relevant authority. Furthermore, as corporations around the world are facing tangible legal and reputational risks from engaging in corrupt practice both at home and abroad, the World Accounting Congress and Domestic Accounting and Auditing Association can adopt a proactive approach in advocating for corporations to put in place effective anti-crime measures and internal controls, even if the domestic law does not require them to do so. Generally speaking, those companies that are unable to demonstrate that they are committed and serious about adhering to compliance standards and internal control measures both at home and abroad are often the ones that get into trouble with law enforcement. So in other words, it pays to be a good corporate citizen. So thank you very much for your kind attention.